Let me ask you something powerful. If every hour of your life were a gold coin, how many would you say you've already given away to things that don't matter? To distractions, endless scrolling, unplanned meetings, people who don't respect your time. The truth is, most people aren't running out of energy, they're running out of focus. And the reason, they've never learned to guard their calendar like treasure. Today, I'll show you how one small shift in how you protect your time can completely redefine your success, your peace, and your power. Time is the most misunderstood currency in the world. People spend it like it's infinite, but live like it's borrowed. The truth is, your calendar is more than a schedule. It's your life printed in boxes and lines. Every appointment, every meeting, every hour you block or leave open is a declaration of what you believe matters most. And yet, most people let others write in their calendar as if their time belonged to the world. They say yes to everything, hoping to please everyone, and in the process, they quietly drain the energy that could have built their dreams. When you start treating your time like gold, everything changes. Because gold has value only when it's protected. You wouldn't hand a stranger your savings account. You wouldn't let anyone walk into your home and take your possessions. But every time you allow unnecessary demands to flood your day, you're doing exactly that. You're giving away pieces of your life you'll never get back. Your calendar reveals the truth about who you are. If I opened it right now, I could tell what your priorities are. Not by what you say you want, but by what you've actually scheduled. You can talk about health all day, but if there's no time for exercise, it's not a priority. You can dream about financial freedom. If your calendar is filled with distractions, that dream remains a fantasy. Your calendar never lies. It silently shows the difference between your intentions and your actions. The most successful people on this planet have one thing in common: they guard their calendar with intensity. They understand that every yes has a cost. You say yes to something that doesn't move your life forward, you're saying no to something that could. Every time you accept an unnecessary meeting, you reject an hour of rest, focus, or growth. Every time you let someone interrupt your day, you trade purpose for noise. The key isn't to fill your calendar, it's to refine it, to sculpt it until only the essential remains. When you begin to respect your time, the world starts to respect it too. You teach others how to treat you by how you treat yourself. If you constantly make yourself available for every request, people will assume your time has no value. But when you begin to say, "I can't right now," or "let's schedule that later," you set a boundary that commands respect. Boundaries don't push people away, they protect what truly matters. Guarding your calendar doesn't mean becoming cold or selfish. It means learning the art of intentional living. Every block of time should serve a purpose. Growth, rest, creativity, relationships as our contribution. You plan with intention, your days start feeling chaotic and start feeling meaningful. And that's when real progress begins. Because focus is the rarest skill of the modern age. The average person is pulled in 100 directions at once, reacting to notifications, calls, and noise. The ones who rise above are those who master their focus, who say no more often than they say yes, who design their days instead of drifting through them. It's not about being busy, it's about being effective. Some people work 12 hours and move an inch, others work 6 and move a mile. The difference isn't talent, it's structure. They know what deserves their time and what doesn't. They know that protecting their calendar is protecting their mission. Because the one thing you can never get back is time. Money returns. It can be renewed. But an hour wasted is an hour gone forever. Your success is built hour by hour, block by block. Look at your calendar and ask yourself, does it reflect the person you want to become? Does it reflect discipline, vision, and growth? Or is it filled with distractions disguised as opportunities? The truth can be uncomfortable, but it's also freeing. Once you realize your schedule is your life, you gain the power to redesign it. You can choose to start saying no. You can choose to block time for what truly matters: learning, building, resting, connecting deeply with those you love. Every hour you guard adds up. Protect 1 hour today and you'll feel a difference. Protect 10 and you'll see transformation. Protect your entire calendar and you'll see a new life take shape, because the future isn't created in your dreams, it's created in your schedule. What you commit to daily defines what you become permanently. The person who respects time earns respect from the world. The one who wastes it is always chasing after what could have been. You owe it to yourself to stop letting the world dictate your day. Every yes you give should be a step toward your vision, not away from it. Guard your calendar like it's gold, because it is. It's the treasure chest of your life, and every hour inside it holds the power to shape your destiny. Time is the most valuable currency we will ever possess, yet most people treat it as if it's endlessly renewable. The truth is, the way you manage your calendar determines the way you live your life. Your calendar isn't just a tool, it's a mirror that reflects your values, your focus, and your priorities. Look closely at it and you'll see a story, the story of how you spend your life hour by hour, day by day. If your calendar is filled with distractions, unplanned meetings, and endless obligations, it's not just your schedule that's being consumed, it's your potential. You can always make more money, build new connections, gain new experiences, but you can never reclaim a wasted hour once it's gone. The person who learns to guard their calendar learns to guard their life. Every minute you give away to something that doesn't serve your vision is a piece of your future being taken. The reason so many people feel overwhelmed, exhausted, or stuck isn't because they lack opportunity, but because they've surrendered control of their time. They wake up reacting, answering calls, checking messages, jumping from one task to another, without ever stopping to ask, is this the best use of my hour? The truth is, most people aren't overworked, they're just overcommitted. They've said yes too many times, and every yes has a cost. Every time you agree to something unimportant, you silently say no to something vital, your growth, your rest, your goals. Guarding your calendar is not about being rigid, it's about being wise. It's about recognizing that your time is finite and treating it with the same seriousness you would treat gold. Imagine if every hour of your life were a coin of pure gold. Would you toss it away on meaningless activities? Or would you invest it carefully? Every appointment, every conversation, every commitment should pass through a filter. Does this align with where I want to go? The difference between those who live intentionally and those who drift aimlessly lies in how they make those decisions. People who protect their time understand that saying no isn't rude, it's responsible. They know that success is built not by doing more, by doing what matters most. They have clarity, and that clarity gives them power. Because when your time has structure, your life has direction. Your calendar tells the truth about what you value. You can say family matters, but if there's no time blocked for them, your actions speak otherwise. You can claim your health is important, but if your schedule leaves no space for rest, movement, or mindfulness, it's just words. The person who controls their calendar controls their destiny, because every block of time represents a decision, and those decisions shape your entire life. The tragedy is that most people allow others to write on their calendar as if their time belongs to everyone else. They fill their days with noise and then wonder why they never feel fulfilled. But fulfillment doesn't come from being busy, it comes from being intentional. Guarding your calendar is about creating a rhythm that protects your energy. You can't give your best when you're constantly interrupted. You can't focus deeply when you're always reacting. When you begin to take ownership of your time, you discover that peace and productivity are not opposites, they coexist. You create pockets of focus, moments of reflection, blocks of rest, spaces where creativity flows naturally. You stop living in chaos and start living by design. And that's when your results begin to shift dramatically. Because consistency, not intensity, builds success, and consistency is born from disciplined time management. The hardest lesson to learn is that time spent doesn't always equal progress made. You can work all day and accomplish nothing if your energy is scattered. You can be in motion without moving forward. Guarding your calendar forces you to confront what truly matters. Pushes you to strip away the unnecessary and make room for what creates value. The more focused your schedule becomes, the more focused your mind becomes. The less cluttered your day is, the more clarity you have. And clarity, once you experience it, becomes addictive. You begin to realize that guarding your time isn't about control, it's about freedom. The freedom to say yes to what aligns with your purpose and no to what drains your soul. Your time is your life in motion. When you waste it, you don't just lose hours, you lose possibilities. Every hour misused is a version of your future that will never exist. The people who achieve extraordinary success aren't necessarily more talented, they're simply more intentional. They understand that every meeting, every conversation, every project must earn its place in their calendar. They evaluate opportunities through the lens of purpose. They don't ask, can I fit this in? They ask, does this move me closer to who I want to become? And if it doesn't, they have the courage to decline. That courage is what separates those who progress from those who remain stagnant. Think of your calendar as sacred ground. Not everyone deserves access to it. Not every invitation deserves a yes. You must learn to protect your time from thieves, not just people, but habits, distractions, and impulses. The scrolling, the gossip, the unnecessary tasks, all of these are small leaks that drain your day. You don't notice them immediately. They quietly rob you of momentum. Guarding your calendar means plugging those leaks, setting boundaries, and honoring your own priorities. It's not selfish to prioritize your time, it's essential. Because when your time is organized, your energy is aligned. And when your energy is aligned, the results accelerate. The most effective people live by design, not by default. They schedule what matters most first: learning, growth, family, exercise, reflection, and let everything else fill the remaining space. They know that if you don't control your calendar, someone else will. If you don't decide your day will decide for you. And when that happens, you'll always feel behind, even when you're busy. When you guard your calendar, you take your power back. You stop living reactively and start living deliberately. You begin to see your time as an investment, not an expense. Every hour becomes a building block toward the life you want to create. You can't manage time, you can manage your focus. The real question isn't, where did the time go? It's, where did my attention go? Guarding your calendar means protecting your attention from being scattered. It means scheduling deep work and honoring it as non-negotiable. It means respecting your rest as much as your work. Because balance doesn't come from chance, it comes from discipline. The more disciplined you are with your time, the freer you become in your life. Freedom is built on boundaries, and the strongest boundary you can set is around your time. When you learn to guard your calendar, you begin to notice something powerful. The quality of your life rises as the quality of your scheduling improves. Your relationships deepen because you're truly present. Your work improves because your mind is focused. Your stress fades because your days have rhythm and purpose. You start to feel that quiet confidence that comes from being in control of your time instead of being controlled by it. Your calendar becomes a reflection of the best version of you, structured, intentional, and clear. Because in the end, guarding your calendar isn't just about protecting hours. It's about protecting your potential. Your calendar is not just a record of appointments and reminders, it is a blueprint of your destiny. Every entry, every block of time, every decision about how you spend your hours tells the story of your life's direction. You can't build a great future with a chaotic calendar. You can't achieve focus if your time is scattered across things that drain your energy. The people who rise to greatness aren't always the smartest or the most talented, but they are intentional with their time. They understand that time, once lost, can never be recovered. They guard their calendars with the same care a jeweler guards a vault. They know that if their time is stolen, their dreams are next. The truth is, your life moves in the direction of your schedule. If your calendar is filled with distractions, interruptions, and meaningless activity, then your life will reflect that same confusion. But if your days are structured around purpose, progress, and growth, then your results will mirror that too. Most people treat their calendar like an open invitation for anyone to take their time. They say yes out of habit, guilt, or out of fear of missing out. But every yes is a withdrawal from your life's energy bank. You have only so much to give in a single day. You spend that energy on the wrong things. You rob yourself of momentum. The path to mastery is not about doing everything. It's about doing what matters most and doing it consistently. When you begin to guard your calendar, you start to see life differently. You stop asking, "Oh, I have to do today," and start asking, "What deserves my time today?" That one shift in mindset changes everything. Because when you protect your time, you protect your focus, and focus is the foundation of every great achievement. Without focus, talent is wasted. Without focus, effort is diluted. Your calendar is where focus either lives or dies. Every unnecessary meeting, every impulsive distraction, every obligation you didn't truly need to accept, all of it chips away at your ability to build something meaningful. The moment you take control of your time, you reclaim your power. Time protection is self-respect in action. The way you manage your calendar shows how much you value yourself. If you constantly let others dictate your schedule, you're teaching them that your time doesn't matter. If you fill your day with things that don't align with your purpose, you're teaching yourself that your goals can wait. Guarding your calendar means setting a standard not just for others, but for yourself. It means saying, "My time has value and I won't trade it cheaply." When you begin to live this way, you stop chasing everything that calls for your attention and start choosing what's worth your attention. Your time is your most limited resource, yet people give it away so freely. They give it to distractions disguised as entertainment, to conversations that lead nowhere, to tasks that don't matter in the long run. Every time you check your phone mindlessly, you give away a few gold coins from the treasure chest of your life. Every time you commit to something you don't believe in, you're spending your wealth on something that brings no return. The people who achieve extraordinary results are not those who hustle endlessly, they are those who choose wisely. They guard their hours like rare gems, polishing each one with intention. They know that productivity is not about being busy, it's about being directed. Guarding your calendar is an act of clarity. You begin to see which tasks move you closer to your goals and which ones hold you back. You begin to recognize which relationships uplift you and which ones drain you. You start organizing your life around progress rather than pressure. You learn that not every opportunity is meant for you. Some opportunities are distractions wearing a disguise. Every time you choose what truly matters, you strengthen your discipline, and discipline, not motivation, is what builds the life you desire. Motivation fades. Discipline, the consistent control of your time, creates momentum that lasts. Most people wait for motivation to appear before taking control of their day, but successful people reverse that order. They create motivation by mastering their time. They wake up with a plan, not a list of random tasks, but a calendar filled with purpose. They don't leave their hours open for chance. They schedule creativity, learning, rest, and even thinking time. Because they understand that the most powerful work often happens in the spaces most people overlook, the quiet, intentional blocks where focus thrives. Master your calendar, you design your energy, your mood, and ultimately, your results. Guarding your time doesn't mean rejecting everything or isolating yourself from the world. It means aligning every choice with your vision. It means having the courage to say no when something doesn't serve your purpose. It means trusting that the right people will respect your boundaries and the wrong ones will remove themselves naturally. It's about understanding that every yes must be earned. You can't say yes to everything and expect your life to stay balanced. You have to earn your yeses by learning when to say no. The calendar of a successful person is not full, it's focused. Every commitment has a purpose. Every hour has intention. Every moment is accounted for. When you protect your time, you protect your energy. And when your energy is aligned, your mind becomes sharper. You start noticing opportunities you missed before because you were too distracted. You start creating instead of reacting. You stop rushing and start producing. Guarding your calendar gives you something rare in this noisy world: control. It gives you the ability to decide what deserves your effort and what doesn't. That control doesn't make life restrictive. It makes it expansive. Because once you take charge of your time, you have the freedom to live fully in every moment you've chosen. Your calendar should reflect who you are becoming, not who you were. Too many people plan their time around who they used to be. They're old habits, they're old routines, they're old comfort zones. But transformation requires scheduling your future into existence. You must plan for the person you want to become. You must allocate time to growth, to learning, to vision. Every block of time you dedicate to your future self compounds like interest. Over time, those small blocks turn into mastery. The person who respects their calendar doesn't just manage time, they build their life one focused hour at a time. When you look at your calendar, you should see your purpose reflected back at you. Every day should move you closer to your ideal life. If it doesn't, then it's time to make changes. Because the truth is, your schedule isn't just about what you do, it's about who you are. The way you spend your time shapes your identity. Guarding your calendar shapes the version of yourself that shows up in the world. You become more grounded, more intentional, more powerful. No, becomes a yes to yourself. Every protected hour becomes proof that you value your future. When your calendar is sacred, your life becomes structured around meaning instead of chaos, direction instead of drift, and clarity instead of confusion. Your calendar is the silent architect of your future. Every block of time you protect, every distraction you eliminate, every moment you dedicate with intention becomes a brick in the foundation of your destiny. The people who live with clarity and confidence aren't lucky. They are deliberate. They don't just hope for success, they schedule it. They understand that discipline is the bridge between goals and results. That bridge is built hour by hour, day by day. Guarding your calendar is not just a productivity tactic, it's an act of self-mastery. It's the way you train your mind to prioritize what matters most, to stay focused when the world demands your attention, and to build momentum even when motivation fades. The truth is, discipline doesn't begin in your habits, it begins in your schedule. Your calendar reflects discipline, your life naturally follows. If you wake up without a plan, you'll spend your day reacting to other people's plans. If you don't decide how your time will be used, someone else will decide for you. Every notification, every request, every demand that pulls your attention away from your priorities is a test of your boundaries. And every time you give in, you're not just losing a few minutes, you're weakening the structure of your discipline. Protecting your calendar means declaring that your goals, your peace, and your purpose are not negotiable. Discipline is not about punishment, it's about alignment. When you guard your time, you're aligning your actions with your values. You're telling yourself that your growth is worth more than temporary distractions. Every hour you protect strengthens your focus. Every task you complete with purpose builds your momentum. Most people underestimate the power of a single disciplined day, but those days add up. They form the pattern of success. You don't need to do everything. You just need to do the right things consistently. And that consistency can only exist when your time is guarded fiercely. Imagine your calendar as a reflection of your inner discipline. The unstructured day is a mirror of an unfocused mind. The cluttered schedule is a symbol of scattered priorities. But when you design your time intentionally, when you schedule blocks for creation, learning, reflection, and rest, your mind begins to operate with clarity. You no longer wake up feeling overwhelmed because you've already given your day structure. You no longer chase every opportunity that comes your way because you've defined what truly deserves your attention. Your calendar transforms chaos into control. The world is constantly competing for your attention. Emails, messages, meetings, they all fight to occupy your day. And in that fight, the person who wins is the one who has mastered the art of saying no. Saying no is not rejection, it's protection. It's protecting your time, your focus, your mental energy from being scattered across too many things that don't matter. People who lack discipline say yes too quickly. They confuse activity with progress. They believe that being busy is the same as being productive. But busyness is the enemy of effectiveness. The disciplined person knows that less is more. They choose depth over speed, purpose over motion, and quality over quantity. Guarding your calendar gives you the freedom to focus deeply. Deep work, the kind of work that creates real change, requires uninterrupted time. It can't exist in a schedule filled with constant interruptions. when you defend your focus blocks as if they're sacred, you give yourself the gift of mastery. That's where creativity flourishes, where ideas form, where breakthroughs happen. You can't do your best work when your attention is divided. You can't build greatness in the margins of distraction. Guarding your calendar is how you build the mental space required for excellence. Discipline doesn't always feel good. There will be days when you're tempted to skip, delay, or drift. The strength of your discipline lies in your ability to follow through regardless of how you feel. Feelings are temporary, discipline is permanent. The more you honor your schedule, the more your brain learns to trust your own word. You start to believe in your ability to follow through. And that belief becomes unstoppable confidence. It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. Protecting your time builds that consistency, choice at a time. The most successful people in any field aren't necessarily more skilled than others. They're simply more consistent with their time. They don't wait for motivation to strike. They use their calendar as a compass that points them toward progress. They know exactly what they'll do when the day begins, and they execute it with precision. That discipline becomes their advantage. Because while others are distracted by noise, they're moving forward quietly, hour by hour, building momentum that compounds over time. Your calendar also teaches you humility. It reminds you that time is finite and that you can't do it all. You must choose. And in choosing what to include, you must also choose what to let go of. Every hour you commit to something unimportant is an hour you've stolen from what truly matters. When you understand that, you begin to live with clarity. You no longer chase everything that shines. You begin to protect your focus the way a gardener protects a fragile seedling. Because you know that if you let distractions invade, they will choke your growth before it has a chance to bloom. Your time is a sacred resource, and discipline is the guardian that protects it. Guarding your calendar creates boundaries that keep you aligned with your vision. It's not about being strict, it's about being smart. It's about designing your environment so that success becomes easier and failure becomes harder. Your schedule reflects your priorities. You no longer need to rely on willpower every moment. Your environment does the work for you. You simply follow the structure you've created. That's the secret of disciplined living. Make the right decisions once when planning, so you don't have to make them repeatedly in moments of weakness. Guarding your time also guards your peace. A cluttered calendar breeds stress. A focused one creates calm. When you know what to do and when to do it, your mind is free from the weight of indecision. You no longer feel guilty for resting because you've already built rest into your schedule. You no longer feel anxious about unfinished work because you've already given it a place in your plan. Discipline doesn't remove freedom, it creates it. The more you respect your time, the more time seems to expand for you, because focus multiplies what you can achieve within each hour. Your calendar is your accountability partner. It's where your goals become real. Every time you write something down, you make a promise to yourself. The question is, do you honor that promise? When you guard your time, you prove that your word has weight. You build trust with yourself. That self-trust is the foundation of personal power. People who can't trust themselves to follow through will always feel powerless. When you begin to live by your schedule, when you start showing up for yourself day after day, your confidence grows quietly and steadily. You no longer need to chase motivation because you've built momentum. Guarding your calendar isn't just about time management. It's about life management. It's the difference between drifting through days and directing them. It's the difference between living on purpose and living by accident. Every time you choose to protect your focus, you're declaring that your life matters too much to waste. Every decision you make about your time is a vote for the person you want to become. When those votes are cast consistently, the result is transformation. You don't need more hours. You need more intention within the hours you already have. Your calendar is where that intention begins, and discipline is what keeps it alive.